Okay, y'all. So we today are going to be talking about TEACS 6.3c and TEACS 6.3d. In particular, adding integers, right? An integer is a whole number and its opposite. Okay, that's why we have that's why our numbers are whole numbers. That's why we have positive and opposite negative values. Excuse me. What we're going to do, or what we have to know about adding integers, are three major things, okay? And the biggest thing, or the first thing, rather, is that a positive plus a positive equals a positive, okay? What does that look like? We'll say 3 plus 2 equals 5, right? Positive plus positive is a positive. The next rule we need to know is that a negative plus a negative is also a negative, right? What does that look like? I'll use the same numbers. Negative 3 plus negative 2. Okay? I'm still adding them. They're still 5. But because they both have negative values, they will remain negative numbers. Okay? Now, what happens if the signs are different? Well, then you subtract and you keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you two of them, okay? 6 plus negative 5. Remember, absolute value is the distance from 0. Whether 6 is positive or negative, it still has the greater absolute value. Therefore, if I had, and I think when I explain this to you, I talk a lot about money, right? So if I had $6, but then I spent $5, how much do I have left? $1. And it's a positive value because this number represents the greater distance from 0, okay? Negative 6 plus 5, okay? So let's say you owed somebody $6, right? And you gave them $5. How much do you still owe them? 1. And if you owe them $1, then we represent owing as a negative. And you still owe them that $1. Again, it doesn't matter if this number is positive or negative, it still represents the greater distance from 0, the greater absolute value, okay? So now let's talk about some of the examples we have here. And again, you're gonna hear me talk about money all day long. So let's say instead of owing $6, you owe $9, right? Well, you were only able to pay back $6. So how much do you still owe? 9 minus 6 is 3. But because this has the greater absolute value, our answer is negative 3. If we go to the one on the bottom, okay, you had $1 in your bank account, okay? But you spent $9. That means you still owe your bank some money. 9 minus 1 is 8. But again, because this represents the greater absolute value, the greater distance from 0, we keep that negative sign. For negative 11 plus 5, you owe somebody $11.
Estás en
That's
recording.
okay.
I'm sorry. Oh my God, sorry.
It's okay.
No, Mr. Gabriel, no, I thought that you had class. I was asked you can leave your class in no, you don't have class. You don't need.
No worries.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's brief. I'm just going over this.
No, I have to do it as well. I have to do an artifacts with one teacher, like OBF. I have to do like I can do it with you actually.
All right.
Like lesson plan guidance and OBF, like I mean, it's a short video about after observing your class, the feedback about the class or something. It's a video like coaching.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. You have this?
Not yet. I'm gonna get it right. I got you.
Sorry, thank you.
No, you're good, man.
Mr. Khan will not be here, Mr. Khan.
Okay.
So Mr. Keys is going to help.
Excellent, no problem. If you recognize that voice, you know that's one of our guys, Mr. Tejada. It's all good. So here you owe $11. Okay, well you have $5 to pay back. You still owe money. So 11 minus 5, the difference between 11 and 5 is 6. But again, because this number represents the greater absolute value, the greater distance from 0, all we do is keep that negative sign. Now the next two I like a lot because it plays into our negative plus a negative equals a negative, right? And I'm going to keep referring to money. So we have, you spent $5 today, and then you spent $9, or you're going to spend $9 tomorrow. So in total, how much money will you have spent? 5, in this case, 5 plus 9 is going to be 14. But because they're both negative, they are moving constantly to the left of 0. Okay, if this is my number line, and here's my 0, negative 5 is right here, plus another negative 9, right? 1, 2, you'd be going further and further and further and furthest to the left until finally you got to negative 14. So that's how we're getting those answers there, okay? Get rid of that real quick. So the next one, same thing, okay? Let's say you borrowed, right? Maybe you didn't spend money, but you borrowed money. So you borrowed $10 from mom, you borrowed another $5 from dad. How much money did you borrow? How much money do you owe? $15, right? But if you owe, then you're gonna show that negative sign, right? If you didn't owe, then it's a positive sign, and that's good. When we get down to our very last one, we have negative 3 plus 7. Okay, again, your bank account, negative $3, okay? Tough, that means you're broke. But then someone gives you $7, right? You were able to deposit. Deposit's a good word because deposit always represents a positive value. So you had negative $3 in your bank account, someone deposited $7 into your bank account. What do you have? 7 minus 3 is 4. Because our 7 is a positive number, and because our 7 represents the greater distance from 0, the greater absolute value, that's why it remains a positive. So this is what we're doing with adding integers. Remember, an integer is a whole number and its opposite. That's why we have positive values and negative values. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. And again, hopefully it helps. See y'all later.